As someone who's worked in the heating and air for years, I've been in countless older homes across the Twin Cities, and I can tell you there's one thing that keeps me up at night: asbestos. This stuff was everywhere in older buildings: insulation, ductwork, pipe wrapping, and disturbing it can release dangerous fibers into the air. That's why I want to tell you about Solutions for Asbestos-Free Environments. Acronym: SAFE, S-A-F-E. And trust me, that acronym says it all, because safety is exactly what they deliver. They're certified by Minnesota Department of Health and fully compliant with EPA and OSHA standards. We at Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric use SAFE for abating asbestos during older boiler and gravity furnace replacements. Our electrical team relies on them when drilling through asbestos sidings and floors. I trust them with my customers' safety, and that says everything. Whether you're replacing that old furnace, renovating, or buying property, SAFE provides professional inspections and certified removal services. I've seen what happens when people skip the inspection and just start tearing into walls. Don't take chances. Visit asbestosservices.services to learn more and schedule your inspection today. That's asbestos.services, ASBESTOS.services, because your safety matters.
From working in his family's Chinese restaurant, to bartending, to becoming present-day owner of Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, my father's true superpower is human connection. Now, he's on a mission to capture the most fascinating stories that make up the Minnesota community. You're listening to the Twin City Tales podcast.
Welcome back to Twin City Tales, where we sit down with people who are building something special, and proving success isn't just about business. It's about the people you bring along with you. One of the things I love about these conversations is discovering leaders who have figured out something really powerful, that true success happens when you help other people grow. Today's guest is someone who has built her reputation around exactly that. Yvette Zona is a leader, mentor, and holistic health coach who has spent years helping people grow into confident entrepreneurs and strong sales professionals. She's passionate about personal growth, wellness, and building strong teams, helping individuals discover their potential and develop the mindset, discipline, and belief it takes to succeed. What really stands out about Yvette is her ability to see potential in people before they even see it in themselves, and then help them turn that potential into real confidence and leadership. Today, we're going to talk about team building, leadership, personal growth, and the power of developing people, because best leaders don't just build businesses, they build other leaders. Yvette, welcome to Twin City Tales.
Thank you so much for having me. This is going to be really fun.
Yeah, and we didn't grow up that far from each other, even though Hopkins, Golden Valley, and Orono.
Not far.
You grew up in Orono. What was growing up in Orono like?
Oh my gosh, I loved my upbringing. 4 girls. I'm a twin. There's 4 of us. And we were able to, what I loved so much about Orono was like the community, and we'd be out in the woods from sunup to sundown, just playing in the woods. Once we were in school and playing sports. It's a small school. It's bigger today, but it was a very small community back then, and it was. I can't think of a better upbringing, just based on like the people that were in the community, the opportunities you had, because the smaller school, like you were able to play all the sports or be in the different extracurricular things, whatever you wanted to do. And it was a blessing that I grew up in Orono.
Yeah, and I just remember Orono being that outskirts of like farm country, right?
It was back then.
But they had the drive-in out there, like if you went out by
did.
Highway 55, right?
Yes.
And then I think a couple of the, I hate to say it, as you go into like that just past Wayzata, right? You get into that. What was
Long
that? The Long Lake, and then they had Red Rooster Bar and all those bars.
I
when we were
actually
younger.
grew up in Long Lake.
Okay.
And, the school of Orono, the district of Orono, but Long Lake was my actual city.
Okay. And
Tiny.
it was fun to grow up around out there.
It
Go out
was.
that way, and I just remember there was a lot of partying from the Hopkins area. If you went to Hopkins, that's where you would go to
Oh, really?
hang out. And yes,
Oh, well, there it is.
exactly.
So,
Cow tipping was a thing back in those days.
cow tipping was a thing.
Exactly.
Isn't that funny?
Oh my goodness. And then you grew up in Orono. Then you went on to the University of Minnesota, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. You went there for psychology, I believe?
Child psychology,
Child psychology.
and criminal justice.
Okay. What happened? What said, hey, I ain't doing this anymore?
Actually, my counselors kept saying, you do not want to become a social worker. Like, you don't want to do it. You don't want to. You're going to end up wanting to adopt every child that comes your way. Like, you're not like made for this position. I was like, I am. And then what happened? Like, why didn't I go do that? I ended up taking a job, just like so many people do, right? You go and you go to school for a specific whatever you're wanting to do, and then you go get a job that has nothing to do with it. Okay. So then I was working at an investment firm for 13 years, and it was fine, and I loved all my coworkers, and it was great, but I really wanted to be at home. I wanted to be a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom. We needed both our incomes, but and I didn't know how to do that. But and so that job was fine. I worked at Dayton's. Remember Dayton's?
Yes. Did you work at the one at Ridgedale?
Downtown.
Okay.
The special events. I worked in handbags, and then also special events, and that's where my life changed, because I was introduced to the wellness company and was able to then reach my dreams of being a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom.
Yeah, some of the stuff, going back to a little bit about Dayton, some of the stuff that I miss about the downtown Dayton's is when they'd have the Christmas show, right?
That was what I worked. That's
yeah.
events. So the Christmas display, we'd have to, it was like herding people, cows, like herding. We'd hold people off on 5th. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When it got crazy busy, we'd have to pull them off on 5th. It was up on 8th. Thousands and thousands of people coming in. But it was a fun experience. I had fun doing it with my friends. I was actually doing it because I really liked the discount. And also some extra income. But that's where my life changed, because I was introduced to the wellness company.
I would get the discount just for those popovers in that. Was it the Oak Room? What do they call that restaurant?
Yeah, the Oak Grill.
Yeah, or the Oak Room.
I think so.
Either way,
it was amazing.
They had really good popovers.
Yeah, they did. There's something about a popover, right?
Yes, especially those.
Yeah,
and it's just so fun going. You don't see that anymore, where people will go downtown actually, literally, to go shop, right? Like, in the 80s, that was a thing. In the 70s, you would take your family down there right before the holidays, and
they had a parade all the way down Nicollet Mall, if you remember.
Yeah.
And
then they did the Aquatennial Parade, and they did the holiday.
Yes.
Parade.
The holiday parade.
Yes, the Holidazzle.
Holidazzle. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was freezing.
Yeah, but boy, those were good memories.
I've never stood in the Skyways.
Yep.
To watch it. I'm like, they're going to crash because they were so packed. Yeah.
And then doing the events too, I remember they also did the spring flower.
Yep, that was
show.
My job too. Mm-hmm.
That was amazing, because you don't think about it, because guys, when they're in high school, right, like, really, spring flower show, like,
it was amazing.
But that took a lot of coordination to get those actual.
They're all in the dirt.
There.
Like, it's amazing what they did.
Yeah.
I didn't do that part. I just handled the crowds. But, yes,
but you
that's
see
amazing.
them build it, and you see them put it together.
It's crazy.
And I'm thinking, just bringing in all those live plants and keeping them
alive
for those, what was it, like 2 weeks or something like that? 3 weeks of
3 weeks, 2.5 or something like that.
And then you waited around for the holidays again, right? Unless they had a show in between.
They had some other little shows, but nothing that really most people knew about.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then, so you went from there, because you were at Dayton's, and you talked about, like, how you got into the health and wellness part. Tell us a little bit about that, how you end up going to that.
Well, and like my draw to health and wellness, my father died at 56 from cancer. And in fact, 7 siblings, 5 of them died in their 50s from cancer. And my grandpa and my grandma was 52. And my grandpa buried 5 of his children. Can you even imagine?
Hard. Yeah.
And so they were like, it's environmental. And so I got very interested about health and wellness and what does that mean, and environmental, and it's the food we eat, it's the products we bring into our home, it's all these things. And so then when I was introduced to the wellness company, my friend said to me, it was really a hand sanitizer I was using, and that's how I heard about the company. But when I got home, I had done a little bit deep dive, and I went to like the seminar about what's in our home. And I found out that there's all these known carcinogens and neurotoxins in your everyday products, your hair care, skincare, laundry, cleaning. And I was like, what? So I boxed up everything in my home, and like Tide, Crest, soft soap, Lysol, 409, Jergens, Johnson Johnson's baby shampoo. I threw it in a big box. I threw it down by the garbage, and it was tagged the next day by the garbage man. Toxic waste will not pick up.
Wow. Interesting.
I was like, wait, what? And so I started sharing the store with others. And so, yeah, within 18 months, I was able to pay off all our credit card debt, quit both of my jobs, become a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom. So it's been just a huge blessing. But I love that I get to help people walk down the path of living healthier, whatever they're looking for in the health and wellness sphere, whether that's physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, whatever people are looking for. I love to be able to come alongside and help them do that.
Yeah. And you also had some health issues.
I did.
And personally really helped you with that wellness group you had Lyme's disease.
I did.
Yeah.
Lyme disease. So it was back in 2011. And I had, I just started to feel really, really not well. And after a year of seeing a lot of doctors and no one helping and no one knowing what to do, I saw a Lyme literate MD and a naturopath. He was both. He was an MD for 25 years, went back to school, became a naturopath. So he used a lot of things to help people. We did the blood test, and they were like, oh, yeah, Lyme disease, couple co-infections from Lyme. And so lots of nutrition and essential oils and tinctures and, gratitude journal and getting sleep and being out in the sun and Epsom baths and like all these things. All of that was part of my healing protocol, but it completely 100% healed. And so again, it was yet another thing of like, it's amazing if you know what the things to do to help your body heal, because we were created to heal. If you know what to do and you know how to assist your body in doing that, I believe the vast majority of things can be handled in a healthier way than maybe what some people are doing.
So, like, on your Lyme's disease, is it still I heard once if you don't actually completely eradicate it,
yeah,
it's still in your system somewhat.
I'm so glad you asked, because I want everyone to hear this. So, did you have chickenpox when you were little?
I believe I had the vaccine, but
You did?
I think so, because
it came out when our kids were little, born.
The
Varivax, yeah, Varivax came out when the boys were like babies.
What was the big one?
Oh,
where
that's
they did
polio.
Gotcha. So I didn't have that, but it was right after that. There was like measles and some other stuff.
Sure.
I'm not very good at remembering.
No, it's totally okay. So why I say it is most people have had chickenpox.
Okay.
And so I say, so you had chickenpox. I had chickenpox when I was 5. And then if I said to you, but you still have chickenpox, right? And you'd be like, and no, I don't have chickenpox. Yeah, you do. The virus is in your body, but you don't actually have chickenpox. So let me take that back. You don't have chickenpox. You had the virus. The virus sits dormant, but there's like 30-something thousand viruses in your body at all times. So no, I don't have Lyme disease. I went through the healing protocol of Lyme, but I don't have Lyme disease. Does that make sense? Just like I would say I don't have chickenpox. Yes, I had chickenpox. I don't have chickenpox. Yes, I went through the healing protocol for Lyme.
Yeah.
I don't have Lyme. It's the same. It's the same thing. A lot of people are like, well, no, once you have it, you have it. No, I mean, probably most people have that virus in their body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I know a little bit more about this, like shingles is one of those that can be dormant in your body and that we carry it.
Yeah.
But it's not something that just pops up, right? Like,
Yeah, it pops up if your immune system gets taxed. So via stress. So either an accident, emotional stress, somebody died, you lost your job, like I said, car accident, something like that, that like super impacts your health. That's when we get sick, is when something impacts our health. It's stress, period, end of story. It's stress. So when we can figure out how to live healthier by, no, granted, there's going to be stress in life, right? We're going to have stress. But if you can learn how to kind of ebb and flow with it easier and not let it like take you down, you're going to be so much healthier.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. And then, especially if you're taking the right medications, right? Not like the holistic medications that are a little more natural for you, such as what the wellness group sells. Is nutrition and stuff that you can, well, let's just face it, stuff that you can like drink and not kill that have different side effects, right?
Yeah.
And
no childproof caps, right? We wouldn't recommend anyone drinking it, but nobody's been harmed in 40 years from any of our products, that's a jaw-dropping statement. Procter & Gamble,
they can't say
even
that.
come close to say that. No.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I love a lot. And that's why I'm with you guys too, where, I can clean my kitchen with the product and still put it as a dessert topping in it. I'll be fine, right?
You would be. I still wouldn't recommend it, but yes, you would be.
Probably doesn't taste the same. But
no, it does not taste good.
But your products, the wellness group products have been fantastic. I love the essential oils. And tell us a little more about oils and how important that is, because I know that I do have a change in my thinking when I am using cedar wood. I feel like I'll put more that grounded in there, and then the lavender, and then when my and I think it's just natural, but peppermint I've used when I feel a little congested, right?
Yeah, and helps you breathe.
Yeah, but you use it more of even a topical. But you wouldn't, if I remember right, you told me I wouldn't highly recommend just dousing just plain peppermint oil onto your stomach.
So peppermint's a hot oil. So there's oils that are hot or not hot. And hot means like it's going to irritate your skin. And so you use a carrier oil. Like peppermint's a hot oil. Oregano is a hot oil. Thyme's a hot oil. Some oils can go straight on your skin. Lavender can. Malaluk oil can. Lots of different oils can. But when in doubt, I always say then just use a carrier oil, because it doesn't harm you to use a carrier oil. And it actually kind of helps it stay a little longer because it's in an oil, because oils dissipate. They evaporate. So oils are hugely beneficial. When we first started coming out with oils, I had actually talked to our leadership at our company, and I'm like, I would love to see more oils. And so as we did that, they were like, I don't really get this. One gentleman was like, why are oils such a like hot topic? Why do people love them? I'm like, well, there was a baby born a couple thousand years ago, and they brought him frankincense and myrrh. So there might be something to it. I'm not sure. But there's just so many health benefits, and they're antiviral and antifungal and antioxidant and antiseptic and like so many benefits. But you don't, I am a certified aromatherapist. I've studied through the New York Institute of Aromatherapy. And oils, a lot of people are like, like you said, just, put some drops of peppermint in your tea, or, well, 1 drop of peppermint is like drinking 28 cups of tea. And our liver is already so overwhelmed and taxed by all the food and all the chemicals that our body's always experiencing, because it's inside out and all around. What you put in your body, on your body, what's around your body is affecting your body. So your liver's already taxed. 100 million Americans have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease because of our food. So our liver's taxed. So you don't want to tax it more by making it processed essential oils. Put it on your feet. Your feet is able to get into the bloodstream immediately. It does not have to get processed through the liver, and you'll still get the same benefits.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oils are amazing.
Yeah. And somebody told me like it is kind of the best way to transfer like oils or something that you rub, because they said if you ever want to prove that theory, take off your socks and step on a piece of garlic and you can taste it through your tongue
It's
with
crazy.
a matter of a few seconds.
Yeah.
I guess. Because
It's amazing.
transferring everything up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
kind
so,
of
and then
nuts.
when you think of, and it goes further, like essential oils and or what you put on your body, products, your laundry, whatever you're wearing those chemicals. It matters. That's why, when people think of in medicine, like you can wear a patch, right, with the medicine and immediately you absorb it. Why?
Yeah.
Because our skin, it's our largest organ. It absorbs everything it comes into contact with. So that's why oils work so well. And that's why it's important not to have all those harsh chemicals in your everyday products.
So I might throw you a curveball here, but I know that since you brought up the patch, the one that I've heard people talk about a little bit is the stem cell regeneration patches.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I don't know if I can believe that 100% because I feel like people need to go like athletes go overseas to have that done. And it's not just like a patch.
Yeah.
They're like getting injected with stem cell regeneration.
Yes.
So
there's a lot of science out there, right? I haven't read up completely on the science, so I can't actually speak to it, but I love to do research and read about it, so I'll tell you next time at our networking group, because I'll do more research on it. There is science to patches. So people use patches for like hormone replacement, pain. There's a lot of patches in the medical world that patients are given, and they're very effective. Now, I don't know specifically about that, but it works with medicine. So I don't know.
It also works with not caffeine, but nicotine, right? Like,
yes.
That's how they wean people off of the nicotine, although I don't think you ever get over it. I think nicotine is one of those things that I don't know if it stays in your system, but I think it's psychological.
Well, it is. And then there's like a physical thing to that, right? But nicotine, there's actually, oddly, there's some benefits to nicotine, which is crazy. But what's really creating that addiction is all the other chemicals that they've added to nicotine in the cigarettes. Mm-hmm. And then those scientists, when that finally went down, got all hired by the food industry to make your food as addictive as possible.
Yeah. Henceforth, McDonald's makes tons of money because
Do you know
there's
scientists that work 24 hours a day to make the potato chip crunch even more than what it crunches right now, because it's such a tactile, satisfactory thing for humans. And they work all the time to make it more addictive, so you buy more chips. And that's just one example. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm
not a big kettle chip fan, though. Like, kettle chips are super crunchy.
I'm talking about any potato chip.
Oh, really? I like the
tortilla chips.
Interesting.
Anything that's crunchy, they're working really hard day and night to make it even more crunchy.
I can believe that, and then the chemistry behind it, like the craving that you get from that. And
yes.
Like, psychologically, I don't know if, like, it's got to be the chemical, because
it's an exotoxin. It excites your brain and it lights it up. It's crazy.
So, like, for me, I always think back, like, the addiction that I have, and I still get a craving for it, is chewing tobacco.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't chewed, like, for 20, no, longer than that. Probably
but you still,
30
like,
years.
would desire to do it?
Yes. And the hard part is, I think I'm still trying to figure that out. Is it a brain thing? Like, is it because a lot of times if smell of fresh cut grass will make me go, ooh, or if I'm mowing the yard, or
takes you back to a time immediately.
Yes. Or after a big meal, right? Like, sometimes I'm like, ooh, I can go for a dip of, Copenhagen, right?
Yeah.
And that was like my choice of chewing tobacco was Copenhagen. But
it probably could be both. It could be that your body remembers it, but I also think and that goes back to aromatherapy. The second you smell something, it's one synaptic jump. It goes right to your emotional center, and it either calms you, excites you, makes you feel grounded, makes you feel calm, whatever that is. So whatever that nicotine did for you is when you smell it, it brings back that feeling for you in literally one synaptic jump, and that's why you feel that way.
That's interesting. It really is interesting, because I always say, like, and then once you go back to it, I felt like once I went back to it when I was like 23 years old, I kind of stopped when I was like 20, 21. Maybe it was even that. It was like 6 months later.
Yeah.
I was doubling my consumption. And I can't imagine doubling the consumption this day, because back then you buy a tin.
Yeah.
Was like $1.50, $2, $1.75.
Yeah. What
I
is
just
it
heard
now?
from $8-9 for a tin of Copenhagen. I'm like, oh my God,
That's
that
crazy.
would kill me.
That's crazy.
And I was going through like a tin and a half a day.
Oh, that's a lot.
I know.
Yeah. I actually kind of wish it was 100 because then people wouldn't buy it.
That's good point. But I feel like it's was the hardest thing to break for me. And
It is,
still,
because
I
they,
still get the craving.
it's
And you
all
think
the
it's
other.
the other chemicals?
No, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I've studied that. It is. It's the
Interesting.
chemicals that they put in cigarettes, whatever. It's not specifically the nicotine.
The tobacco or the nicotine. And that makes sense because I feel like I also used to every once in a while chew what they call Red Man plug. You'd break it off and they were really big,
Oh
right?
boy. Oh boy.
But I don't know if it's more natural. I don't get a craving for that, right? But I do
Yeah.
get a craving for a different kind.
Yeah.
So it's
Memory.
yes. And do you think that happens with alcohol too?
Yes.
You don't think you think it's more psychological than actual?
No, there is
withdrawal?
a physical component to it. In fact, alcohol, you can die if you just cold turkey alcohol. If you're like a full-blown alcoholic, you actually have to wean off. Or you'll die. You will literally die.
Yeah.
So, they have things for that. But so again, addictive property, memory. What I believe is there's emotional trauma, and we all have trauma. Everybody has trauma in life. It's called life, but some people experience horrific trauma or perceived horrific trauma, right? And so unless they heal that, they are going to cope with maybe something outside themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of dealing with that emotionally.
And it obviously doesn't help when you got that going, right? And then the next thing you know, you're doing the addictive things such as alcohol, which has the addictive compound in it that's not good for you. And it's a chemical thing.
Yep.
Same with chewing tobacco or smoking. It's a chemical thing.
And even it is. And even the alcoholics, I think about at AA, that they're either outside breaking, having a cigarette, or they're grabbing candy. They always have bowls of candy, I guess, in AA. So now they move from this addiction to this addiction, or this addiction to sugar. Sugar is more addictive than anything. Which is crazy. It lights up the same parts in your brain as cocaine. Sugar does.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of funny. We're just shifting the addiction to something else. Again, not dealing with what actually created them to seek comfort. It's usually what it is.
Yeah.
They're seeking comfort, escape, that kind of thing. So if we deal with the human person and help them with what happened and help them heal through it, in my opinion, they're probably going to have some type of addiction their whole life.
Yeah. And it's just part of the whole psychology thing, but then going back to the chemical thing. And that's what finds me fascinated by the wellness group. Yeah. Because of the chemicals, you're adding that onto the psychological addiction. Yeah. And it's really hard, right? So using the wellness group products, that kind of eliminates part of some of the problems, right?
It does. Because if you give your body what it needs nutritionally, you don't crave food. We're hearing a lot about this food noise thing, right? Food noise. We're hearing Ozempic and Mounjaro and all the things. And that's fine. I understand why people want to resort to it. But the truth of the matter is, it's because the soils are minerally depleted. And so our nutrition's not in our food anymore. So if the nutrition is in our food, our body's not getting it. And that's why it's always like, I'm still hungry. I need more food because it doesn't have the nutrition. But if you take nutrition, high quality nutrition, scientifically proven, showing that it does what it does, 25 key health markers is our peak performance pack, then you don't have that food craving. The noise goes down because your body's like, thank you. Yes, I just wanted the B vitamins. Yes, I just needed the copper. And I just did a blood test. And that's another thing that I love to do and show people with why red light therapy and how does that help? And there's a blood test that I use through it's Function Health, and it's an app. It's really cool. You can see all your markers. So I'm 60, but my metabolic age is 47.4 months, 47 years old. I'm giving my body what it needs, lowering inflammation, lowering free radicals. It's proven to do that scientifically, 4 different studies, blind studies. And it's amazing. And so I don't feel 60. I guess I don't know what 60 feels like. What does that mean? Right? I don't know what that feels
60.
like.
I feel like I'm 60, I guess. But
I don't feel any different than I did at 40. I literally don't.
Yeah.
So, but you got to give your body what it needs. Like it has to have it. Or like magnesium, for instance, there's over 300 enzymatic functions that are happening in the body with magnesium. If you don't have enough, none of those go well. Vitamin D, if your D is low, you're going to be susceptible to like every virus, cold, health issue out there. Why aren't we talking about that? Vitamin D is huge.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, different vitamin D pills
Yes.
are, they say created equally, but they aren't.
Yeah, those aren't.
Yeah, that's
you
what
need
I
to know.
understood.
Yeah. So I
So-
love educating on that.
Jumping off subject a little bit.
Yeah.
So is that why like you can eat a plate of Chinese food and like 2 hours later you're still hungry again?
Yes. Yes.
Because
for
of the
sure.
chemicals?
Because the nutritional value is not there.
Really?
Yes,
I
because
love
the
Chinese
soil.
food.
Well, Chinese food, Italian food. What it doesn't matter. The food doesn't have nutrition in it like it used to because the soil is minerally depleted. So you have to supplement. You just period. End of story. Everybody knows it. Like that's a clear, scientifically proven. It's not in our food anymore. You
Okay.
have to supplement.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just know that that's the saying, right? Once you
Yeah.
Chinese food is like that. When you crave
I
more
think
of it
any
after.
food is like that. That's why they say if you eat a ribeye or and you're at a restaurant, like you're satiated pretty quickly. You can't continue to eat once you've eaten a ribeye. Like you're like, I'm full, I'm satiated. You couldn't eat an entire row of Oreos and you're still hungry because there's no nutritional value to it. And they have all those chemicals that create you to create it to be more addictive. So
Wow. There's a lot going on with that.
Nutrition's
the
everything.
addiction, like chemicals, and that's kind of how you got into that passion
I did.
of selling that
Yep.
product because
Yep.
it really hits close to home for you.
yeah,
And then now you're creating something for a lot of people
I am.
to help with that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
My sales team.
Yeah.
So I have health and wellness teams across the country. And so when I realized that I loved these products and I knew others would too, all I do is introduce them to the store. Well, when my friends started shopping and they were like, oh, some of them were like, I want to tell people I love and care about too. Will you help me? I didn't even know I was even starting a business. So we don't sell products or collect money or do anything like that. We just introduce people to the store. And so I started doing that. And that's when, paid off all our credit card debt, quit both of my jobs and became the stay-at-home work-at-home mom. And, developing leadership is my favorite thing because I get to watch people, and I loved your introduction and thank you so much. I see something in people before they even see it in themselves, and I can help bring it out. And everybody has gifts. Everybody's different. Everybody has gifts. Some people are super organizational. That's not you and I, which we talked about. But other people, as long as you have someone like that,
Yeah.
to create your community, your business, whatever your team, whoever you're with, as long as you bring all those people along and they bring their gifts and strengths, you can grow phenomenal teams. And that's what, I've been able to do. I have just an insanely amazing team. And again, with all gifts that they've been given, and then they just use that to help them develop their own business, but also to better the team. And when people come collectively together and bring their gifts, like look out, anything's
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, for sure. And if as a leader, your job is not to be like in charge of them and tell them what to do.
No, we don't do that.
The key to it really is, and I've learned more about leadership reading Simon Sinek and a few other books.
Yeah, he's so good.
But yeah, he is really good. But your job is to be is care for the people who are in your charge.
Yes.
So there's a difference
Yes.
about being in charge as a leader as opposed to caring about the people in your charge. And I get the sense that you do a lot of that with your teams.
I do. They're like my family.
Yeah.
We build them up. again, we help them step into their greatness. I think everyone was created for greatness.
Yeah.
Once you let somebody know that and that you believe in them, they can actually step into it. Sometimes, a lot of times, people are raised in a home that may have like brokenness or upset or trauma or whatever the thing is. And then that person never believed that about themselves. And we have to like break that thought pattern. And I'm a huge, and with John Maxwell, speaker, coach, mentor, learned so much from that whole training. And like, you've got to read. If you don't like to read, you've got to listen to books or podcasts. A podcast. How about this? A podcast.
Perfect.
Right?
More of Twin City Tales if you can.
Exactly. Right. So it's really all about people have to believe in themselves. And the only way they're going to do that is by developing themselves. And the only way they're going to do that is to read, listen, watch. Know that like whatever you're listening to, whatever you're paying attention to, it better be where you want to go in life. Because there's a lot that we don't want to be listening to in the world because it's only going to take us down. Do what's going to build you up so then you can go use your gifts and help other people.
Bring in the value of what it is, right? Like and nothing wrong with Archie and Betty comics, but does that really bring you a value, right? Like reading those comic books, but reading someone like John Maxwell, Simon Sinek, things that help you grow as a leader and even grow yourself and really being more self-aware of who you are.
Yeah.
Is how you become a better leader, I believe. Because
for sure.
I love the line that John Maxwell says, like, if you're a leader with nobody with you, you're just taking a long walk all by yourself, right? And it's so true.
It's so true.
Yeah. So you're blessed with a great team. What leadership lesson have you learned the hard way that completely changed on how you build and lead your team?
Yeah. There's a few probably, but probably the biggest one is you can't want something more for somebody than they want for themselves. And so you've got to learn that you can't make someone, even though you see their gifts and even though you know they could be amazing, unless they want it. Now you can teach them how to develop their skill set, but if they don't want to develop themselves and their own leadership, then it is okay to absolutely love them and appreciate them where they are. But if you just try to drag someone through it, you get tired, they get bloody because you're dragging them and it doesn't work. So like when I wanted it so bad for everybody that I was burning myself out because I was trying to do all the work. And instead, it's all about developing leaders around you and then help them rise up and, lead their team.
And that's a really good point that you bring up. Like you can want it more than them, but it's never going to happen. But I also think good leaders encourage them on how to get there, right? Like
and always and forever stay doing that, right? Yes.
You can't tell them to do it. It's like leading them to horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Exactly.
But you almost have to figure out how to convince them
to
drink that water, right?
Make it sparkly, like put a light on it, like make it enticing and exciting for them. And again, I think it goes back every single time. It goes back to a disbelief in their head, right? And belief is just, if you believe something that isn't empowering to you, the word in the middle of belief is lie, and you believe a lie. And when you can get rid of that and confront that, then you can go and be the person you were created to be.
It's really interesting that you say that because I feel like it's a matter of standing in your truth and really realizing and having the openness to go look at your truth and go, okay, is that really the truth, right?
Yes.
But it's your truth at the time.
Yeah.
And that is probably embedded by years of somebody telling you something. And the best example of it, I feel like, that really opened up my eyes at one time was that my dad once told me when I was younger, and not out of, I talked about this on the podcast before, but he didn't, your parents don't say things out of just like.
No, they would never do it to hurt you.
Exactly. Let me figure out how to mess up my kid as hard as I can, right? Like, I don't think they ever say that, but my dad used to tell me it's going to make you $1 million and you thought of it, somebody's already thought about it and done it, right? Like, but they say it to protect you from getting hurt at the end of the day.
Yeah. But are you?
And
But
yes,
is it?
it's his truth, maybe, but does it have to be my truth,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And neither one is right or wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that he's been there before, so he's like, ooh, I want to protect him from
Yeah.
thinking too big, right?
Yeah.
But it's really not the truth. It's
No.
standing in your own truth
Yeah.
and figuring that through. And it took me a while to break out of that thinking pattern, right? Like,
Totally.
and it does hold you back because I'm like, ooh, it's a great idea, but man, somebody else has probably already thought of it. Let me move on, right?
Right.
And it's so, like you said,
Well,
it holds you back.
There's a funny thing about that. It's like something like, remember the guy who made the pool noodle is like a multimillionaire. Like it's just a pool noodle. Like
Yeah.
there's a million ideas right now that people have that could actually be a huge business, but they think, or they've been told, right? I know I have some, people in my life where they don't think they deserve success. They think that money is evil, and it's actually the love of money that's evil. Money is not evil. If you're
Right.
good, you're going to do more good things with it.
Yeah.
If you're bad, you're probably going to do more bad things with it.
Yeah.
But money's not evil
No.
inherently. So there's so many stories that we have in our head that we need to check. And is that actually true? And that's how we empower people.
I think you make a really good point there. It's making sure that you have people around you that's on your team,
And on your side.
and standing in your own truth
Yeah.
and having the open-mindedness
Mhm.
for you to have, I'm trying to think of the way to say it, that you can open up to their truth too and find that passion
Yeah.
to get to their truth, right?
Mhm.
And that's the key. I don't think anybody's a bad person. I think sometimes they get put into bad situations and they make more bad decisions.
Yeah.
But how do you help that as a leader, right?
Mhm.
I think that's the key to good leadership.
Agreed.
So,
I totally agree.
yeah, and it's hard. It's a hard balance to find in all reality.
Yeah.
Because
They can tell though, if you're really there and you're on their side and say, is that true? Like, is that one of my partners was told she wasn't lovable by one of her parents when she was young. And that really hung over her head. And did he mean that? No, of course he didn't. He didn't mean that. But guess what? It stuck. And it was really hard. And she did all the hard work to process that and figure out no, that was just something he said at the time. And it's not true. It's not true. She is lovable. She's very lovable.
And it's kind of funny that you say that part of it because she remembers that moment.
She does. I bet he
But
doesn't.
He doesn't.
Mm-mm.
But also think about this, and this is just my thought, right? Because I think our brains hide subconscious, subliminal stuff, right?
They for sure did.
Like it took me a long time to dig that piece out about my dad, right?
Yeah.
Like saying that to me because it's a lot of work.
Yep.
But I probably forgot about that a long time ago.
For sure.
But it lived in
You
the
buried
back of
it.
my mind. You
You
bury
buried
it, right?
Because number one, it doesn't feel good. It's not empowering. And so we kind of bury it, but it's always there. So it's always doing this in the background.
Yes.
And you don't even notice that it's doing it, but it's saying it. And so you are making decisions because of this. So when we can deal with this, then we can go be great.
I think one of the key is before, and I'm really bad at it because I say stuff off the cuff and I'm like, ooh, should I have said that? Did I really say that? But I'm working on before you say it,
Think.
2 questions. Does it bring value to this conversation?
Yeah.
And does it bring hurt to this conversation?
Yeah.
Right. And you have to use it strategically. And I've noticed
Yeah.
as I'm working on myself, becoming a better leader, sometimes you cannot bring or say stuff with an emotional attachment to it.
For
You
sure.
almost have to always stay
Yeah.
very straight face, right? But somebody like me who loves comedy and is a little sarcastic at times, that doesn't help my leadership role. So I got to make sure that and again, it's not being a leader telling people what to do, and it's leading. I hate to use
Leading
leading by
leaders.
example, right?
Yeah.
Leading leaders. It's like you
It is
have to
leading
have,
by example.
yeah, you have to
Okay.
have enough enough check within yourself to go, my ego is there, but I got to make sure it's not always the right thing. Right?
Yeah,
It's hard. It really is hard
it
being
is.
a leader and leading a team.
And then we just keep working on ourselves, right? Because we won't always get it right.
No.
We won't always get it right, but we just do better. Just always do better. Do better. And then even when we recognize something, then we're like, oh yeah, I could have done better. I could have said something different there, or I actually could have said something, or whatever. So it's just developing ourselves, and we allow the space for our leaders to lead.
I think you said 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is like letting yourself lead, but making sure. Yeah. And some of the stuff that we say out of our mouths doesn't always show that. So that's why it's like, it's
okay, because then we just correct, and we just like, oh my gosh, you know what? I just said that. That did not come out right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you catch it.
It's, you know what? That little nugget just brought me. It's taking ownership. I think good leaders will take ownership at all that. Even if it's not 100% their fault.
Yes.
They take ownership.
Always.
And if things go well, they give credit.
Yes.
Everywhere else.
1,000%.
You take the ownership when things are bad or rough.
Yeah.
And you'll take it with whoever will help you, put you in that position.
Yeah.
And, I always say, especially to my management team, like, if I send them to deal with a customer, right, and it gets even messed up more, like I get the phone call like, your guy just made me even more madder. I can't believe he said that, right? Like, I think it's so easy when you're the manager or the leader, right?
Yes.
The owner, go, that idiot, he screwed this whole thing up way worse. But at the end of the day, you have to turn around and go, but I sent him there. I didn't give him the tools to cope with it maybe properly, right? Like, I have a 5% blame. Yes, he said some bad words to him. I can't control that. But I could have controlled it from the beginning, from sending.
Yeah.
Right. So
as long as you own it.
Yes, I think that's the difference in leadership.
There's a ton of value there.
Yeah.
I think.
For sure. And I know you've helped a lot of people into confident sales professionals. What's the biggest thing that holds people back from reaching their potential, do you suppose?
Well, in my business, but in anyone's business, I think it's their belief in themselves. So, you can ask 3 questions. Do you believe in your company? And then the answer almost always to that question, no matter, I don't care what company you're talking about, if they like their company, they say yes.
Yeah, it should be yes, right?
Yes. Do you believe in the service or the product? And then yes. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe you can do it? And if there's even 1 second delay in the yes, the answer is no. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they can do it. So then we kind of dive in, and what is that about? And, this is just a skill set. I mean, I wouldn't know how to go do anything with what you do, right? But I could learn it. I'd have to be open to feeling not comfortable at that at all in the beginning, but I could learn it. And so as long as you can learn it, as long as we're breathing into them and like, I can teach you that, and you have me right next to you, you can be successful here. And you just have to work on that. But almost always it's that third thing. They don't believe they can do it.
It's interesting you bring that up because, yes, I think we get in different positions that we don't believe we can do that. It's almost like that imposter syndrome.
For sure.
But one of the things that I've really am working really hard on myself right now, and that's what makes this podcast great, because I get the sense of who I am more. I get the sense from hearing people like you talk about things, but like I never ended up getting like a CFO degree, right? I don't have an MBA. I'm a service tech that kind of developed a business.
That's awesome.
But more and more recently, and I have to act and talk like a CFO, right? So like, they say fake it till you make it, right? But is it truly faking until you make it? It's like, if you're in that position, you need to just start walking the walk and talking that talk and making sure that, and study the game, right? So one of the things that I was saying to myself a couple of years back is like, yeah, I'm just lucky that I got here. I'm not very bright. Do you know what I mean? But I realized I have to stop saying that about myself. Yes, have I made mistakes as a CFO of this company CEO? Absolutely. But I think the key to it is really just owning it and saying, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Even though you might have that little bit of doubt in your head, but it's one of those things that you have to have. Again, your ego has to come out somewhat, even though. So I feel like there's such a fine balance between ego and loss of confidence, right?
Yes. Yeah, and I think ego, I went to his training years and years ago, and when we were at the training, she's like, okay, everybody, stand up. We're going to take off our ego suits right now. Everybody zip off your ego suit. Like, we literally had to physically pretend like we were zipping off a suit because the ego comes back really fast. And we all have egos. We're human. And there's nothing more attractive than to just be like, I'm just learning this and I'm super excited. I mean, what's the, who cares if you don't have the CFO? Like, who cares? What's the saying where they call like your car like the university, and if you listen to 10 or 15 minutes a day for like a year or 2 years, you literally have like an education in that thing. So think about that. If we're reading books or podcasts, whatever, listening, reading, whatever we're doing, you can become super educated and you're in the top like 5% of your field just by doing that.
Yeah.
Schooling or no schooling.
Yeah. It's just studying the game
without
school or with schooling, right? Like,
without the student loans.
Yes. And going back to that ego thing, I think, in all reality, I've always said to my team, I really don't want anybody on my team without an ego, because that's what drives them forward, right? Because if you have people on your team that don't think they're good enough and don't think they really, I'm just okay at this, is that who you really want on your team either, right?
No, you want them confident.
You want them, and I think that's the difference. That's the word that we're looking for. Confidence. Like, they have to have a high amount of confidence.
Yes.
To be able to be on a great team.
Yes.
And part of us being leaders is how do we help them with their confidence, right? And it's not through ego. It's through how do we serve them. So, yeah.
Totally agree.
With that was a lot. We're going to take a break.
Good. Okay. Awesome.
We'll be back. Anoka Meals on Wheels, a nonprofit organization that I proudly support, delivers more than just nutritious meals to seniors in our community. They deliver connection, care, and peace of mind. Their volunteers don't just drop off food. They check in, share a smile, and ensure our neighbors know they're not forgotten. I know because I am one of those volunteer drivers. Help us keep serving those who need it most. Visit mowanoka.org to volunteer, donate, or learn more about Anoka Meals on Wheels. Nourishing bodies and spirits, one meal at a time. Tired of lugging heavy bags of water softener salt from the store? Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric now delivers premium water softener salt right to your home in returnable, reusable 20-pound containers to go green and light it up to save you from injury. Serving the north suburbs, we're your neighbors who know how hard our water is. No more running out of salt and dealing with spotty dishes and stiff laundry. Quality salt, reliable delivery, local service you can trust. Because at Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, we don't just keep your home comfortable, we keep your water soft and your life easy. Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, now with water softener salt delivery. Call today or visit us online. If you're enjoying this show, we'd really appreciate it if you could take a second to smash that subscribe button. It helps us reach more listeners, and if you're feeling extra generous, leaving us a rating or a review, both, would mean the world to us. It only takes a minute, but it makes a huge difference in helping other people discover the show, and fantastic people on the show such as Yvette, and hear their stories. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, on Twin Sea Tales for behind-the-scenes content, episode updates, and even more. So we are back with Yvette, and we have some pictures that she might not have seen in a while.
Okay.
This is going to be kind of fun. I'm going to start with this one because we talk about the 80s a lot earlier, and Tell me a little bit about
There it
this. You had somebody has big hair there,
Oh yeah,
and love the matching like parachute pants.
Yeah, those are
Almost.
MC Hammer pants. Remember the little bolero, the sports bra. This was us going out dancing.
You and Becky?
But that is my twin sister.
That's your twin
So
sister?
I'm on the left with the big hair.
Okay.
She's on the right. And we actually would do dance competitions in bars to help us pay for our books at college.
No way.
Yeah.
So when you were going to the U, you went to the dance competitions.
Yeah.
In bars.
Yeah.
Which bars?
Oh, all the bars.
Was it like Norma Jeans? And
Yes.
really?
And
Norma Jeans went there?
Grandma's.
Grandma's,
And,
yep.
Grandma's was a big one.
Yep. I worked at Bennigan's, so I knew.
Bandana Square.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They had a couple of bars in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We love hip hop.
Okay.
We're little
but
hip hop dancers.
Wasn't big in the 80s.
Oh, yes, it was. What?
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose, because that's when Vanilla Ice came out.
Yeah, MC Hammer.
MC Hammer, that's right. I don't know why I keep thinking that's like more pop, but.
I knew it was pop, and pop too.
Yeah.
We liked hip hop and pop.
Not that rock like
No, I don't like rock.
Big hair band like, Rat and Poison.
No,
and
I don't do anything.
The girls would be on the like half naked on the car hoods.
That's a hard.
MTV
it's a hard no. That is not my music.
But
at
Paula
all.
Abdul, she was really huge. Yeah.
I actually have an outfit. I don't think she got in there, but it's it was very Paula Abdul inspired. And my hair was like at least this high.
You teased it up to
this
the moon?
high. It was so high.
Yes. It's kind of funny that we used to
high.
laugh at those teased hair, but remember like
it was in.
20 years before that, it was the big beehive dudes.
Yes.
And we would laugh about those,
Yes.
saying, oh man, those are out of style. But now when we look back, we're thinking like, those kids
I feel like
are
that's
going,
kind of our last time because I feel like all the kids for a very long time just have, specifically women, are wearing just kind of straight down.
Yeah.
Like, so they won't look back and go, what in the world, like we did.
That's true. Good
Yeah.
point. Although I do look back and go, why did I ever sport a mullet?
Yeah, I know, right? But it was a thing.
It was a thing.
It was a thing.
Oh, this is cute too.
I love that picture.
Do you remember
So we
this
look
one?
like little chimney sweepers, right? Like we look, I don't even know, we're dirty. I'm on the right, my sister's on the left, my twin. Yep, this
Black
is
and white.
Yeah, or no, look, you can see how wrinkled the picture was. That's a
Yeah.
picture of the picture. I think there's some editing, like probably with AI, you could probably make it look perfect
yeah.
again.
You can make them move nowadays too
I
on
know,
AI. It's crazy.
That's a whole other story, right? Like it's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, we were just, I don't know.
So
we
you
were
look
probably
like you're about
3.
4 or 5 years old. So this
Yeah,
must have been early 70s.
Probably. I was born in 65, so probably 70. Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
And then this one, is that your sister too?
No,
Is that-
that's just, this is a soccer.
Okay.
We had just gone, we were going into state. That is me on the left-hand side with the bandana on.
That's you with the bandana?
It's an absolutely horrible picture, but that's what it was.
Well, you know who sent these.
Becky. Yes. I'm going to have to pay her back when she's on.
Orno Spartans. I thought you
Spartans.
guys were like, why am I thinking orange and black?
No, we were red and blue.
Red and blue.
Mhm.
I don't know why I was thinking it was orange.
No, we were red and blue Spartans.
Unless, Asio, yeah.
Yeah, Asia was. Hubby.
So this is you and your hubby.
Uh-huh.
You ready to take a trip somewhere. Do you remember where that was? You guys probably
They're probably
flew a
going
lot.
to, we fly a lot. We go on a lot of trips. Probably, I think that was when we were headed to Mexico, maybe Tulum or Cancun or Paradisus, maybe Punta Cana. I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty recent, probably in the last year. So one of those trips.
Cancun is fun.
Cancun is fun.
I love Cancun.
Yeah.
Did you
super
ever
fun.
swim in a cenote?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We actually did.
Those
was super
are
fun.
really cool.
So many bats. I didn't love the fact that there's so many bats flying overhead.
Yeah.
Like you had to kind of stay down in the water because like they were like swooping and stuff.
Not at the one we saw them up there, but they weren't like.
Oh yeah, no, they were swooping and
Interesting.
it was really, I mean, one of my friends was super freaking out, but it was fun. And it was so hot that
Yeah.
that cold water felt amazing.
Yeah.
because we were really hot.
You know what I thought the biggest scam was when we went? You took a bus there, right, with the tour people, right?
Okay.
And then they would pull out talking about chemicals, right?
Yeah.
We don't want chemicals in our cenotes, so you need to buy our bottle for $10 each. Remember that? Like, they won't allow you in because we're trying to save our earth or whatever.
Sure.
And we're just like,
You're like, I
yeah,
probably
wasn't
already have it
sure.
on.
Yes, exactly. But they made you buy it. And it was just, it's pretty fun.
That is funny.
Yeah. And then,
We also did like zip lining. That was super fun.
oh, yeah, zip lining.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wish I would have done it. I didn't do it.
Super
My
fun.
kids did. Yeah. This is a younger picture of you and your husband.
Yeah, the boys were probably trying to think of that picture. I think the boys were like maybe 10 and 12 or something like that. So that's got to be almost 20 years ago.
So before you got into,
No, I've
or
been
was
with my
it-
company for I'm in my 28th year. So
okay.
yeah,
So,
they were like the boys were 4 and 2 when I was
Okay.
introduced to the wellness company.
okay, yeah. So you've had a lot of experience with the wellness company and being on the leadership too.
Yes.
So let me ask you this: going to this crazy hair puffy picture,
Mm-hmm.
if you can go back and step back in time and give that young Yvette some advice, what would you tell her?
Advice, I would tell her that you're going to live an amazing life. So just grab onto it and develop yourself because you're going to change a lot of people's lives. Know you can do it from the very beginning and never doubt yourself. And you're going to help other people do that same thing.
Because back then you probably did have a lot of doubt because we all always. Had that,
I didn't
right?
know what I was doing. And that maybe speaks to something. The gentleman that he was one of the 4 owners of the investment firm I was at. I was at Doherty, Duck, and Strand & Yost. And Jack Yost came into my office one day, and I was 25, maybe. So I was a kid. And he said, Yvette, if you ever decide to start your own company, I will financially back you. I've carried that forever because he breathed belief in me to the point of I was like, wow. And that built me up big time. Like that's a lot to say something like that. Like he saw something or whatever, but what that did for me was be like, well, if he does, then I can. Right? Like that was huge. And my parents always told me, you can be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do. And you can be the president of the United States if you want to. I'm like, clearly I never want to do that. But like you can, like anybody can.
Yeah.
If you decide
Right.
and you put your mind to it and you do the work, you can do or be anything that you want to be. So for me, I've carried that one. I've carried him kind of in my heart. He died a few years after that from cancer. And I've carried that story or that moment in me forever.
That's really awesome that you had somebody like that too.
Like totally breathe into you. That was already so successful.
And I think I've had people that has said that to me in the past too, which I think that's
it's huge.
We what we say is heavy, you know.
Yeah. And powerful. And so think about how we can do that for others.
Yes.
How we can use our words.
And again, we don't always like. I go back to my dad, right? He didn't say that to hurt me.
No,
he
of course
said it to
not.
protect me.
Yeah.
But in a sense,
Wasn't
does
great.
it bring value? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's how leadership works. And your boss there was a good leader by
He
being
was.
able to tell you that, right?
Yeah,
And
he totally was.
help you embrace that leadership quality that you currently have.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this before we wrap it up. Who's someone on this would you would love to see on this podcast and why?
I can probably mention a whole bunch of people to you. However, since Becky shared those pictures, I think Becky Connors should be on next. I've known her since 5.
Yeah.
We reacquainted because of our networking group that we're in.
Yeah.
And but it had been 20 years and we hadn't spoken.
Wow.
And watching like what she's done and developed herself as a realtor and like how she helps her people, how, all of her clients on the buy side, on the sell side, but more about like how she connects people, how she works so hard. So I think we get Becky on here and then Bridget and I could give you the list, but, and I'll find some pictures.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'll let you choose the pictures for her this time.
Absolutely.
So, and before we go, I usually like to give you a little something for being on the show.
Oh,
So,
good.
yes,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
not a bucket
exciting.
of salt. I always say that.
Okay,
but-
good, because that's interesting.
So the first thing,
Although we could use salt sometimes, right?
yes.
Because, we're in Minnesota.
So the first thing I always love to give you for a memory of being on the show is a
Oh
little
my gosh,
trophy
with my name on
with your
it.
name on it. Exactly, it's special.
Okay, that's so fun. For
And-
being awesome. Very
and
fun.
the other thing is, I'm starting to take up a little crocheting, but I didn't crochet this. I've
Oh,
been
I
just
was like,
crocheting
did you
woobles.
do that?
But I think it's such a love. I thought that was just you. A beautiful day.
Begins with a beautiful mindset.
Exactly.
That is so awesome. Will you one day make these?
I don't think I can. I started making a wooble. Have you seen those woobles? Like they're the little
Yes.
kits. And it's a little bit tedious. And if you,
I mean,
feel
this
like
would take a while.
that one would.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to count. I don't know if you know like crocheting. You have
No.
to count the numbers of
Oh, wow.
how you increase it and then decrease stitching.
You do?
Man, I sound like that's a feminine side of me.
That's
a lot of
awesome.
work.
Actually, it's so good. It probably is a way that you shut down your brain and just focus on
And-
this and quiet things. It's a
Yeah,
good
I
thing.
think that's the
Oh
cool
my gosh,
part
that's
about
so
it.
awesome.
And I do have one more thing for you because we talked a lot about leadership and how you build a team, and it's who, not how.
Ooh,
And that's what I just thought about when we had our conversation.
I
but
love
that's-
this author. I haven't read this book.
Okay.
You know what the other book, The Gap and the Gain? Have you read it?
I haven't read that. I need to listen to that on Audible book. I've had
Oh my
people
goodness.
suggest that one.
It's so good.
Good.
Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Okay, so because I've watched and listened to your podcast, I knew you were doing this. So I'm like, well, then I'm bringing something too. So, and that's why I asked you earlier. Okay, so it's books because I love books. And I thought this would be great. And I think you will love them. So I got to tell you about them. Have you read this one? Leadership and Self-Deception?
No, I haven't.
Okay, they're both by the Arbinger Institute.
Okay.
And the second follow-up is Anatomy of Peace. And these two books, I joke with people and say, like, if everybody in the world read these, there'd never be war.
Interesting. Yeah.
What? So when you have to read this one first because
Okay.
it sets up this one, because there's a storyline in this that comes from this.
Okay.
But when I first was told about this book, I'm like, Leadership and Self-Deception, I'm like, I don't even like that title. Like
Yeah, that just
it
seems
feels-
like an odd title.
like it feels like confronting or like, I don't know. I didn't like it.
It's so opposite, right? Like, are you a leader in deception? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and to become a leader.
It's really
interesting.
about well, you're gonna see while you read this book. It is phenomenal. It's transformational
Okay.
for, it says, right, changing lives and transforming organizations.
Yeah.
Like if everybody in your organization read this, it's just super helpful. Two walks, they're so amazing. So those are for you.
Awesome. Wow. The Arbinger Institute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're gonna absolutely, you'll love
I'm
them.
excited. I can't wait to dig into that.
Yeah.
Very nicely done. God, I'm excited. An Anatomy of Peace. And, when you said, like, there would never be any war in this world, I just got done listening to Simon Sinek's, one of his podcasts. And
He's so good.
He really is good. And he talked about, yes, women and men are totally different at
Wildly
times, right?
different.
And I think when you talk about leadership, you kind of need a combination of both. Like,
Yeah.
there are really good women CEOs out there
Yeah.
that can handle it very well.
Yeah.
There was one CEO that said, from what I gathered, is that she thinks that men are better CEOs at time only because they make quick, decisive decision,
Okay.
and they'll just run out there and like,
Do
I'll
it.
drop on a grenade, right? Like, but
Just get it
you
done.
can't always have that in
Yeah.
good leadership. And some of the women leaders have the actual nurturing and really care about the team
Yeah.
and they might take a little bit, but they're looking out for everybody
Yeah.
in the
Well, I mean,
in
women
their
were
charge.
created to nurture,
yeah.
right? So that's why we have the babies.
So yeah, but it's
Um,
interesting that that's said, right? Because I
yeah,
think you
it's
need
awesome.
both.
Oh, for sure.
You really do. People that can make good, decisive decisions.
Yeah.
That really takes care of the whole team.
And this is very
intrinsically.
heart-centered. It's a very heart-centered
Okay.
book between these two gentlemen that you'll be reading about, and it's really amazing. And that goes into, yes, Anatomy of Peace after. Definitely read both.
Leadership and self-deception and the Anatomy of Peace. I'm excited to dig into that.
Yeah, can't wait.
Fantastic.
But thank you so much.
Well, I can't thank you enough for you being on this show, Yvette. I really appreciate it. And if you being on Twin Sea Tales, if you want to learn more about Yvette, you can actually get her on Facebook and Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
or you can visit us at Twin Sea Tales. We will post it on there. And as we roll out of here, we want to give a special thanks to Chris Hockey for the use of his song. Thanks, with absolutely no pun intended. I love his music. And this podcast is powered by Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric. And just remember, you can't go wrong with Wymond Wong on Twin Sea Tales podcast.
This song goes out to my family, to all the ones who died before me. I'm sure the family life made you do things you never wanted to, so I wrote this song to say thank you for the breath that I just took, for the life my son will lead. I hope when you look down from heaven, that you